Yo guys, welcome back to the Blue Podcast with me, Tom, and Ben. How you doing, mate?
I'm good.
It's been a little while, hasn't it, Ben?
It has. It has.
Been a little while, was it? We thought it was about a month and a half ago. Was the last me and you's last upload?
Something like that.
Something like that. Well, we're very sorry. Just busy with obviously I'm at uni. Just got lots of deadlines. I mean, I've got two in today, but that's fine. That's fine. I've got a good handle. They're group projects anyway. But yeah, we should be back properly. Trying to get a Blue Podcast every week, and the other podcasts should be coming back slowly. Let's say. Hopefully they are. I know Conor and Josh have been chatting away about some American sports stuff, and yeah, we're going to slowly get back. I mean, I did my first YouTube short reacting to the the interesting Chelsea 3-3 with Zenit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those classic. I mean, City obviously lost to Leipzig, didn't they? But we were already top.
Yeah. Whereas we weren't, and we should be beating Zenit even with the team we put out realistically.
Yeah, but it's the classic. You're already through. I know you weren't top of the group, like confirmed, but like you're already through. The intensity drops.
But it was, yeah. I mean, there was 8 changes to the team that played West Ham.
Yeah, there's rotation, intensity drop, rotation, and it doesn't like who you're playing Zenit, and that were they trying to go for Europa or something?
Yeah, I think they were going for Europa.
Yeah. So did they get it in the end? I don't know, but like the game meant a lot more to them than it did to you.
Oh yeah, I think so. I'm just going to double check that.
Same with the game meant a lot more to Leipzig than it did to City.
Yeah. So Zenit. I mean, I think Zenit would have got through anyway on 2 points because Malmo obviously lost to Juventus, but I think they kind of just needed a point or
yeah,
just to make sure that they got through.
yeah.
But I mean, yeah, Chelsea's form right now is not great.
Yeah.
I think we've dropped 7 points in the Premier League. That is 7 points in our last 5 games, which is why we're now in third.
You still, I mean, you still.
We're still in it. Like we're 1 point behind, 1 point behind City, and I think Liverpool really need to get some points before the African Cup of Nations, don't they?
Yeah, I mean the game. Who did they play last game when they scored last minute? Was it like Scarrots, didn't they? I mean, they probably scored a few before then. Was it Wolves?
I'm looking it up now. I think it might. Yeah, it was Wolves. Yes, Origi with the last minute.
Yeah,
Kind of,
I mean, yeah.
It's such typical. It's such typical like Liverpool of late, though, isn't it? Like, do you remember when it was the season where you two were just on fire, and then like they would just. I remember it was you had no doubt that like one of their front three would get a goal in like 85 plus minutes every game. The one that sticks into my head was I think it was 2018-19 season. Obviously, yeah, that was the season. And I remember City and Liverpool were playing at the same time, so we had them on the 2 laptops with Kieran, and you both went 1 down, and then you both ended up winning 2-1, and it was just like, it sits. Liverpool are back like that after just
it's like I say, they probably should have scored a couple before them, but like
I mean, I don't know. Wolves were good that game.
but like Liverpool had the better chance, didn't they?
Yeah.
But it just would have been nicer to drop points, but I mean,
well, yeah, it would have been nice for us because we'd still be in second.
Yeah. But I mean, like you say, there's only like 2 points. You're only 2 points behind us, and Liverpool only a point behind us. There's only like.
Oh, it's so tight.
Like it's basically when you were top. I wouldn't say it's a position of like it doesn't really mean anything at the moment because it is just so close.
Yeah, no, it's so close.
But yeah. But I mean, in terms of Champions League, I think you can still get an easy draw from where.
Yeah. So I guess what the teams that we could play, because obviously we can't play English teams at tops, is Lille, Bayern, Madrid, and Ajax. And I mean, Bayern and Madrid. I mean, even Ajax. I think Bayern and Ajax actually the top two you don't want to get right now, because I mean Ajax have had a phenomenal Champions League.
Madrid, you've shown you can beat them last season, but they are playing better than they were.
Yeah, they are better, and I mean, obviously Real Madrid are Champions League royalty, aren't they? So,
but I think it'd be typical Chelsea to get Lille. I'm telling you now.
No, it'd be typical. It would have been typical City to get Lille, because you always get easy draws in the Champions League.
No. I'm not having this. I remember early days of Champions League. We got difficult draws all the time.
It's not like we've spoken about this before on the channel.
No. Yeah. City probably get like Atletico or Inter or something like that. But because we could get Atletico, Sporting, Inter, Benfica, Villarreal, sorry, or Red Bull Salzburg. So
you're pretty sorted.
Well, you say that, but then they bring
Atletico Madrid aren't the same team that they were like even last season.
Atletico, yeah, I suppose
they've not had a good season.
Yeah. And Inter will be the other difficult one, but I still like to think we can beat them. But you never know in the Champions League. You just never know. So
yeah, that is true. You do never know. I mean, we're talking Champions League. We got to talk about Barcelona, obviously. Europa League.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's a symptom of where they are, where they're at the moment. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, like we always talk Galacticos with Barcelona and Real Madrid. I mean, they're Galacticos right now: Ansu Fati, Depay, and Coutinho, and that lot.
Yeah, no, it's just a symptom of where they are. But I think they will. Like under Xavi, I don't know. I'm not saying they're gonna like suddenly come back, but they will improve under Xavi, I think. But yeah, it's just like say a symptom of where they are at the moment. But yeah, I mean, there's a few decent teams dropped down into Europa, like Leipzig, Dortmund.
Yeah, Dortmund as well. That was a big one.
Sevilla did the classic. Oh no, we came third. No, we go to the Europa League. No.
Porto as well. Porto in Europa League. Milan didn't get through to the Europa League. Big one. Atalanta will be interesting in the Europa League as well.
Obviously, Zenit as well. But
yeah, I mean, again, if we're talking Europa League, we got to talk about the team that's dropped into the UEFA Conference League.
Yeah,
Leicester City.
It was just
Spurs have got some competition. Although if they don't win their last game against Rennes, they're not through anyway.
Well, I don't know when that's happening. It'll be next year.
Yeah, it's been postponed, isn't it? So
like next year, won't it? Early January or something.
Yeah, because there's gaps. Well, no, apparently it's got to be played before the end of the year. So I think it'll be a Premier League game that gets postponed.
Right.
And then the Premier League game will be moved into the new year when it's African Cup of Nations, and there's a few gaps in the schedule.
Yeah, there's some handy teams in the Europa. You got Lyon, Monaco, Napoli, Lazio,
West Ham. They just beat us.
That goal was ridiculous, but
we'll talk about it after we finished speaking about
you. Dads. Real Betis. Well, this like including those Champions League teams, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, no, it should definitely be interesting.
But yeah, the conference
Europe's always interesting.
It's just ridiculous. Like they've tried it. They've tried the experiment. And it's not worked. Just bin it. But they won't. They won't because they can't admit they made a mistake.
No.
But yeah, no. I mean, even sort of United, they drew, didn't they? I mean, they already finished top.
I mean, did you see they made 11 changes?
Yeah.
Their team was ridiculous though. Matic at centre back, sixes of Van der Beek and Juan Mata.
It's like, I mean, yeah, it was different, but yeah, even with that, like they already top, weren't they? Because of basically screw up Chester United, getting bailed out by Ronaldo, got on top. Which when you got a player like Ronaldo, that can happen. But,
it does happen.
There you go. But even then, like that game meant more to young boys than it did to United. So
yeah,
like that
yeah, it does. Should we talk about Chelsea's interesting defensive form of late, considering how good it was?
I mean, I've not really been. I mean, I know they've had a drop, but I've not really been like.
So we hadn't conceded more than one goal in a game all season until the West Ham game. No, yeah, the West Ham game where we conceded 3. And then we've conceded 3 again. It's ridiculous. I think we've conceded now, possibly. We conceded the same amount of goals we'd conceded before the West Ham game in just 2 games.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you look at it this way, it's sort of a coincidence that you've played West Ham, who have beaten Liverpool.
They've beaten a lot of top teams.
They beat us on pens in the League Cup, which is why they're including us in it. But we beat them 2-1 in the league, so I'm not having that. Like that can get in the bin. Like, oh, you lost on pens, right? Brilliant. So, but anyway, yeah, they beat Liverpool, and then it's just happened coincidentally that it's come right before the last group game of the Champions League, where you're inevitably going to make changes and the intensity drops. So it's just one of those things, and he's not going to change the way, like his plan or the way he does things, just because you've lost the game.
Yeah. At the same time, though, you could tell there's been a drop in form, like from even the United game, the Watford game. Like there was a clear drop in the way we play, but it's hard to keep up. Even with
I mean, every team goes through ups and downs, and you have been like at it since he came in up until like the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, so, and I mean, and also I don't want to become Liverpool by saying this, but we have also got some very, very key players out and have been out for a while. Like we've been very unlucky with injuries for a little bit. I'm not saying it's not an excuse.
Best squad in the league now.
It's not an excuse. We should still be winning every game with the squad we've got. But like obviously we did have a good period when a little bit of a good period when obviously Timo and Lukaku were out. And then
I completely understand it and completely agree, because like even it's like City against Leipzig. I was like, I thought he was going to play youth players.
Yeah.
But even then, I was looking at the team. I was like, it doesn't look like it from the midfield and the forward line. Doesn't look like it, but like to me,
you put Ake in centre back. You're always in the chat like, okay, we're conceding.
Yeah, it's bound to happen, because he just doesn't feel. He doesn't fill you with confidence. He doesn't like have that sort of aura about him. Playing left back, fine. Centre back, but yeah, even then I was looking at a team and I was like, that's not. I mean, it doesn't look like it, but it is a second string team because it's missing key players. And I know the squad like City and Chelsea have. It does. I mean, it doesn't affect the teams as much as it does others, because obviously you've got a good squad, good players coming in. But even then,
it still affects teams. Yeah,
it still affects it, because like Ronaldo. I mean, obviously they were rotating because they're already through, came top, whatever. But if that was a different game where they were injured and out, like not having Silva in there, not having Cancelo.
So the injuries, yeah.
Like these are key players that are important.
You don't realize how much you actually need them until you haven't got them.
Yeah. But like again, like I'm not like going, oh no, we can't cope, like, because we've got the odds to cope, but it does affect it. Like there's no getting away from that.
No, yeah, for sure. And like it helps. The squad helps you cope for sure. But when you do miss, for example, when you said Bernardo Silva, I think he's been phenomenal this season and been so integral to how you play.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, with the injuries we had missing for the Zenit game, we had, just to list off, the ones we had. Chilwell obviously injured. We had Kante injured, Jorginho injured, Kovacic with COVID and just coming back from injury as well. We had well, that's it. But then obviously, like, that's the main four. And like, if you think about it, all four of them are pretty much starters.
Yeah, no, it's.
I'd rather Kovacic and Kante than Jorginho.
Yeah,
third best player in the world, boys. But I'd still prefer Kovacic and Kante.
Yeah. He's not coming himself in glory of late, Jorginho. But
and you can tell as well, though, Lukaku's clearly not got his confidence and his fitness yet, because when he got his goal, a normal striker just puts it straight back. It's like, obviously, so Werner did the little cut back to him, open goal. Could have just put it straight in, as a confidence striker would do, just put it straight in with one touch. But he had to take a touch, steady himself, and then put it slightly in. You can. That's often a little sign that maybe he's not quite at his.
Yeah. I think it's just coincided with like these obviously injuries or absences for whatever reason. It's coincided with that dip in form. So it's obviously
as we said, clearly it does make a difference.
Yeah. And it like, again, I think for a team like City and Chelsea, you don't think the dip would be. It shouldn't be as bad. Well, it's not even that. It's not even to the point of being ridiculously bad yet. But you would think that you would still beat West Ham and Zenit. But West Ham are playing well.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. But like,
Zenit needed the points just in case.
There has been, I think, as well as the injuries that have affected it, there has been a dip in form in terms of the players on the pitch as well, and it's just a combination of the two. But I'm pretty sure they'll get it back.
I mean, Tuchel's the kind of guy who, when form's not great, he just gets into them and tells them to like wake up.
Yeah. I mean, we've got plenty of fixtures coming up as well to get back in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, thing is though, in the season, almost the two worst points to have a dip in form are
Christmas.
Just Christmas is the worst time to have a different form because there's so many games.
Yeah.
And obviously the end of the season, if it's important, is obviously a very big time to
I can't remember how we did sort of the last few seasons at Christmas, but City in the past have usually had an absolute stinker at Christmas. And I don't know why. I mean, like, not a stinker, but we always seem to just not. It seems to be a bit like.
Yeah, no, you said it before. Like, you always don't quite have the Christmas you want.
Yeah. But I mean, we always, well, not always, but usually, in those title winning seasons, we have obviously done well after that. But like,
going on a 13 game unbeaten, like a winning streak.
But it's just like something about Christmas. I don't know. And we've got Leicester Boxing Day.
Ooh. But I think we've got. Who we got Boxing Day? We got a big game. We got Liverpool on the 2nd.
Yeah, you've seen. I think you've got us. You play.
Yeah, our fixtures in Christmas are going to be ridiculous. We got Villa on. We got Villa on Boxing Day as usual. It's always either Villa or Arsenal for us on Boxing Day. And then second is Liverpool, and then 15th is City, and then Spurs. Then the Club World Cup qualifier.
Lovely.
Oh God, I'm not stressed at all as a Chelsea fan.
I think City have got Arsenal, then Chelsea in Jan.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I don't want to touch on the fact that how is Norwich v Man United the 5:30 kickoff tomorrow? Bro, I don't even want to be a biased Chelsea fan. Like, just it would be so much more interesting to have Chelsea v Leeds, considering we've spoken about the rivalry. To have, or even Liverpool v Villa would be good as well at 5:30.
Yeah, Gerrard going back.
Bloody Norwich versus United. Who cares?
They've got a new manager. He's like,
and
he's a what do you call he's the professor. He influenced Tuchel and Klopp. So I mean,
I'm sorry, but Chelsea v Leeds and Liverpool v Villa is just a much better game.
Yeah. No, I don't get me wrong. I do think he's a good manager, and I do think he'll improve them. But they are. It's like I saw this meme. It was funny. It was like this guy, like just like talking like tactics. It was like Man United fans after like 2 weeks of Ralph Rangnick. It's like, so we play a full, and then there's no trigger for a press, but then there's like when the press is triggered, we press, and then we drop, and then we wait for the next trigger, and then but there isn't a trigger.
Did you see the stat that was it? I think United won back possession in the opposition third for like a certain amount of times, and the last time that they ever won it that many times was under Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
Is like he will be a good coach, and it's really annoying that he will be.
Yeah. No,
but United needed someone like that for a long time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think yeah. City got Wolves this weekend, I think. Which will be difficult.
Yes, you do. You got the 12:30 kickoff.
Still like to think we can win that, but Wolves gave Liverpool a good game, so
yeah, true. We shall see. Should we change Brandon for a second for when we move into what actually?
Oof.
Jeez, look at that transition. This is kind of like a red and black show now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of. Not really. It's a blue podcast.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course. F1. Big weekend coming up, innit? Big weekend.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Obviously, I don't know. Like, obviously, viewers of the channel will know that I've only really got into F1 because of this podcast. And I was sat watching that race on Sunday with half the time with my head in my hands, going, "What the hell is going on? I don't even know."
It was ridiculous.
I remember it was when the second restart happened after the red flag. We can talk about what happened with the red flag as well, because that was kind of goes with the title of the video, which is obviously F1 conspiracy.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a conspiracy theory there. You're watching the front of the race when Hamilton has a phenomenal start and then like gets pushed out the way, but then you just see in the background like 5 cars flying about hitting each other. It's like it was a good race.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I know that they've got a contract with Saudi Arabia now, and I think they are racing there next year, but I don't think they are after that. And I can't because I mean, even then, like even if they were like, oh, we're just going to race there for the foreseeable future, I don't think I couldn't see them racing there many more times because it's so fast, but it's a street circuit, so it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's entertaining.
It's entertaining, but it's not true racing. It's just like a bit of
from a novice F1 standpoint. Perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was entertaining as you want. Like you're like gripped on the edge of your seat, but like in terms of like safety and actual racing.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised someone didn't get like hurt.
Yeah, like it's just
when was it? What's his name? Who was the first crash?
Schumacher.
Schumacher, yeah. Like when he went flying into the barriers, just because the turn was so sharp and it just couldn't hack it.
Lost
and just went straight to the barriers. Like the force he hit those barriers with as well was mental.
Yeah. The safety of the current F1 cars is fantastic. Like they have improved it loads because basically the car just breaks apart to take the force, so they don't feel as much. Obviously, they'll still feel it.
Yeah,
but like
the insurance companies won't be happy about the Qatar race, will they?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
they will not be happy at all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, obviously, following that crash, there was a yellow flag.
Yep.
With a real.
It's a proper safety car. Yeah.
Real safety car, because there's 2 different types, which I didn't know about until that race.
Yeah. The Was it explained to you, the virtual safety car?
Yeah, so obviously if it's debris on the track and like it's easy to just get rid of eventually, then and a yellow safety car just means you can't overtake, right? You can still go quickly, you just can't overtake.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
which
So with a virtual safety car,
which kind of comes to the conspiracy theory, I guess.
Yeah.
Max Verstappen takes a risk or supposed risk, and doesn't pit on the yellow flag.
Yeah.
So he's in pole position. Next thing we know, red flag.
Yeah.
So and he can change his tires.
Yeah. It's I think what it's I mean, if you're in the camp of like the FIA being in Red Bull's pocket, then you could see it that way. But I think it was more that they were just going to do whatever Hamilton did, they were going to do the opposite.
Yeah.
That was just literally all it was. And they were like Mercedes were banking on not being a red flag, and Red Bull were banking on there being a red flag because there was an incident in free practice where they did give a red flag for basically the same incident.
Yeah, but they gave a red flag straight away.
Yeah. So there is
a yellow flag and then a red flag.
There is a bit of
that's the controversial part there, isn't it?
There's a bit of controversy there, yeah.
And then it just kept on getting better and better, though, didn't it? It looked like Hamilton had been stiffed over and over again with yellow, like virtual yellow, yellow flag and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it looked like it wasn't going to happen.
At one point I was like, but I think it became apparent very quickly that Mercedes had set up their car for the race and Red Bull had set up their car for qualifying because it's a street circuit. Red Bull knew that track position is really important, so they set up their car because he was on an absolute blinder of a lap. He was like 4/10 up or something before he like clipped the wall on the last corner. But yeah, it became quite apparent that Mercedes had set up their car for the race because they had the pace, they had pace in hand. But obviously, with all the virtual safety cars and all that stuff, it was like I was thinking he's just going to be able to get to the end of the race with these.
Yeah, it was like it was literally like Hamilton would get like within 1 second to get the what's the dip?
DRS.
DRS, yeah. So he'd literally be like so many times he'd get within 1 second and then yellow safety car.
Yeah. Every time I was like, no, this is gonna just kill it. Because then
Hamilton would have been fuming at the end of the game.
Yeah, with those safety cars, Red Bull were on the medium tire, and Mercedes were on the hards. So the medium is softer, so it wears out quicker. But because of the safety cars, they're not straining the tires as much. So it was like he was basically just getting free laps because he wasn't straining the tires. And it was like I was like, oh, it's just because basically have the tire life to be able to get to the end here. But he's made his tires fell off in the end, but we'll get to that.
But obviously, I guess another controversial thing was Verstappen being a bit of a twat, kind of, and just deciding to go off track and then shove Hamilton out of the way.
Yeah, it's. I mean, when you've watched like any person who's watched as many F1 races, like all the races that I've watched this season, you don't get surprised by it. It's just typical Verstappen.
Yeah.
It's like you expect the moves, and I think Lewis is like that, which is why he's able to take avoiding action. It's just typical. Like you know it's going to happen. Like, and there's no, and I don't get like how he can't see. I know he's like, oh, it's hard racing. It's just racing. Like you got to blah blah blah. And it's like, no, there's a difference between hard racing and just shoving people off the track and going off track. Like I don't know how he can't get it in his head. And
yeah, all it's doing is giving him penalties though.
Yeah.
Like obviously then Hamilton was like allowed to overtake him, which we'll get to that bit as well.
Yeah.
But I remember when obviously we'll get to that now. Obviously, so he was shoved. So Verstappen shoved
Oh,
Hamilton off the track.
we missed
There was
out. We
another red
missed
flag.
out. Yeah, we missed out the red flag. Yeah.
Yeah. So then there was a red flag. Mercedes and Red Bull spoke, and
it was
then
ridiculous.
Ocon was allowed to go first.
Yeah.
Hamilton in second, Verstappen in third. So obviously, already Verstappen has shoved them off the track and gone off track.
Yeah, it was mind-boggling that the FIA on the phone to Red Bull being like, "So we'll offer you this." It's like, what? I've never heard that before ever.
It was the FIA that like said to Red Bull, "We won't give you a penalty if you just go behind him." Basically.
Yeah. I was like, no, that's not how it. You should go by the rules and investigate it like everything else.
Yeah, which again, I guess, is FIA in Red Bull's pocket.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in that camp.
But yes, so Ocon in first, Hamilton in second, Verstappen in third. Yeah. This is when the big crash at the back happened as well. I think off of the last red flag.
Yeah,
and to be fair, Hamilton messed up his go. So like, he overtook. He would have beaten Ocon on the turn.
Yeah. But he left it wide.
He left too much space on the left, and then obviously Verstappen went in. And this is when you hear the radio of Hamilton go, "This guy's fucking crazy."
Yeah.
Because Verstappen just goes straight through the left, and there's obviously 3 cars now going around the same corner at the same time, which is always dangerous.
Yeah, three wide.
And he forces Hamilton into Ocon.
Yeah. I mean, out of all the moves in the race, that was the one that was the cleanest. Like that was the move that
that actually was hard racing.
Yeah, that was hard racing. You were like, oh right, like that's the one move that you're like, yeah, no, he's a good driver. Why can't you do that more of the time? Like, because that was a good move. Like, don't get me wrong.
No, it was a clear mistake from Hamilton, and then a good spot from Verstappen.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, it was advantageous, but like it was a good dodgy. Like
it was a bit dodgy, but
it was a bit dodgy, but like it was in the grand scheme of things, it was like a really sort of textbook move. But even like you say, even then he sort of give a little bit of a
a little nudge. He nudged him towards
the elbows got out, but
yeah,
And
then we all were like, "Oh no, Hamilton's wings damaged, and will he get enough downforce at the front to get the speed?" Long story short, yes, he will. He still gets the speed.
Yeah.
And then I always forget, right? So then obviously the race is going on. What does Verstappen do to Hamilton?
So after that and the restart, Hamilton then takes Ocon later that lap, and then he's gaining on Verstappen, and then Verstappen does typical Verstappen things, doesn't pushes him wide, and then loses it himself, and goes off track and gains an advantage, which is why he got the 5-second time penalty, and it's also why he was asked to give the place back.
Yeah,
and some people are saying he shouldn't have got 2 penalties, but I mean he did so many things in the race,
just such a dodgy race from Verstappen.
And this is the other thing. It's like Verstappen's like, well, we both didn't make the corner, and I don't know why I got the penalty. I was like, no, you both didn't make the corner because you forced him to not make the corner. Like you're the one who forced him wide.
Yeah,
it was mind-boggling. But then obviously he was asked to hand the place back.
And this is when the big thing happened.
Yeah, and carnage ensued. So obviously Hamilton's coming up behind, and he's apparently Red Bull had told Verstappen, but they
hadn't told Mercedes yet.
They hadn't told Mercedes, or Mercedes hadn't told Hamilton yet, or something.
Well, yeah, over the radio it says like the Mercedes guy to Red Bull goes ballistic and says, "You were telling me over the radio." As Verstappen decided to slow down. So Hamilton didn't know. Hamilton just thought it was normal racing and just sees Verstappen just brake checking.
Yeah, I think what because obviously Verstappen was penalised after, didn't affect his position.
No, you got the 5-second penalty from that. I think.
No,
He got 10 seconds penalty.
he got 10-second penalty after the race. It didn't affect his position because obviously they want the storyline of them going into the last race equal on points.
He should have got a penalty on the race coming up, not the last race. That's again dodgy from the FIA.
They're just wanting that storyline. That's you can see it clear as day, but oh well. But yeah, I think what happened there after sort of obviously everyone's looked at it and had their own thoughts and looked at it again and blah 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 blah, looked at the data, blah blah blah, whatever. I think what happens there is obviously Hamilton doesn't quite know what's going on, so he's seen Verstappen slow and he slows down himself, and then he's like, I think he realizes he's been told to give the place back, but he's trying to give the place back before the DRS line, so he can effectively pass him, goes to the main straight, and then he just DRSs past him.
Yeah.
So he was like, no, I'm not having this. And then so he slowed down, and Verstappen's gone, why? Like Verstappen's like, why is he not going past? I'm getting sick. You can probably see him. I'm getting sick of this, and then slams his brakes on to try and force him to go past, which is then what causes the collision because obviously Lewis is still going a bit faster than him. Managed to take avoiding accident just about, because he did have like that end plate damage on his rear wing, which probably lost him 4 attempts a lap, which is
a lot.
It's a lot, but he still managed to get a ridiculous lead, which showed how much Verstappen's tyres had gone off by that point. That he just
do you want to talk about the mediums? Because obviously he started on mediums like everyone else, pretty much.
Yeah.
Then Hamilton changed to hard. That had 4 laps on the hard during the yellow flag.
Yeah.
And then it became red.
Yeah.
Red flag, and then Verstappen changed to hard. And then on the second red flag,
changed to medium.
Hamilton stayed on hard, and Verstappen changed to medium.
Yeah.
But I remember the commentators could already tell something was those mediums are really worn already.
Yeah, everything that Red Bull did was always thinking about how to get track position, because it's a street circuit. But I think they sort of underestimated how easy it was to sort of pass on the DRS zones.
Yeah.
Because they were thinking, right, we'll put it on the mediums for this restart. It gives you better traction because obviously there's more grip on the softer tyres. So that's how he obviously got that good start with the decent move. But then obviously the other side of that is the tyres wear out faster. So therefore, once Hamilton was finally past him, he couldn't keep in touch. I mean, obviously Hamilton was a bit cheeky as well, wasn't he? Because he was asked to give the place back again, but then just overtook him.
But that was also dodgy for Verstappen though. Like he literally lets him pass in the certain angle that means he could just go straight past him again.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't really letting him pass. I understood.
Yeah, I think he was asked to let him pass again, but this time
Hamilton knew about it. This time,
Hamilton knew about it, and Hamilton was a bit cheeky because obviously by this point he's completely fed up and pissed off. So he deliberately goes in deep into the corner and sends him really wide, which is basically what Verstappen does every time they go into a corner, and then obviously goes.
Oh away. Yeah, the second time because he was asked to Hamilton overtook him, and then Verstappen went straight past him, and obviously then Hamilton was like, "Fuck off! No, that's not happening." Yeah. get him to give a place back properly. Gave his place back properly, and just absolutely blitzed him.
Yeah.
With the 5-second penalty, Verstappen couldn't change his tyres to get a faster lap.
Yeah.
But Hamilton just flew once he overtook Verstappen. Though it was ridiculous. So much the damage done to his car, and he was on the hard tyres. He was getting fast lap.
Yeah, he might say that he had the hard tyres, so his tyres weren't degrading, and like I was saying earlier. It became apparent quite quickly that Mercedes had pace in hand, because they had set up the car for the race, not qualifying. So it sort of, I mean, I think it would have been a bit more of a, if they hadn't have given the penalties or asked them to give the place back, blah, blah, it would have been like a Brazil scenario where Hamilton would have got the move done finally going into the first corner, but he would have had to have made sure that he was passed already, because if they're going in wheel to wheel at any corner, Verstappen is just gonna try and
ruin him, basically.
I mean, this is the thing. Like, he's like, oh no, it's not like. I don't want to crash. Don't want to crash. Like, I just want to race. Blah blah. But it's to his benefit, to his advantage if they don't finish. It still is, even though the level on points. He's got one more race win, which means he's ahead in the championship effectively.
So if you think he could just crash into?
So he'll just whatever he does in this next race. I'm not saying he's going to go into it thinking I'm going to crash with him, but he's going to go, if there's a little gap there, he'll go for it, because if they crash, whatever. If Hamilton bails out, he's got the position, and then like if Hamilton's trying to get past, he'll be aggressive as he always is. If Hamilton doesn't bail out the crash, that's fine for him. If Hamilton bails, it doesn't. If Hamilton doesn't bail out the crash, if Hamilton bails out, he's still got a position. So it's like he doesn't care if they crash or not. So yeah, he's still effectively ahead in the championship, even at the level on points. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Like, yeah, I mean, and they don't know really which car this circuit will suit, because they've changed it. Like, they've changed a bit, like a few corners of it, so it's a bit different now. But I mean, Verstappen was top of first practice that happened a few hours ago. Hamilton was within like 0.033, but his lap time
nothing.
His lap time was deleted, but apparently, I mean, the first session in Abu Dhabi is always not a really good indicator, because it takes place during the day, and the race at Abu Dhabi always takes place sort of evening to night. So
it's not too hot, isn't it?
So yeah, it won't be as hot. So it's basically the next couple of practices that might indicate, but even then, practice that never really shows much, because obviously they can be like sandbagging or testing out different tires and stuff like that, different setups, that sort of stuff, and like different modes and all that stuff. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But yeah, that race was ridiculous.
I might do a poll on the Twitter, which is at the Blue Podcast 1, if you want to go check it out, and maybe even on the Instagram as well, on our story. I might do a poll asking who do you think is going to win for the Hamilton Verstappen on the Sunday. Shall hopefully be interesting. Hopefully, it's going to be a good race. I'm excited. I know a couple of boys down here will be watching it as well. Maybe have a few drinkies. Maybe
drinkies.
Just a few. I don't drink often.
Oh no.
I haven't got to my eyebrow because of a stupid drunken mistake.
Oh no.
But yeah, anyway, before we move on, just a couple house stuff. I don't know what the word is.
Housekeeping.
Housekeeping, that's it. Housekeeping stuff. Do like the video if you enjoyed it, because obviously we are back. Dislike it if you didn't. I don't care. Just a bit of interactions better than nothing, isn't it? What else was there? Obviously, Instagram, Twitter, at the Blue Podcast 1 on both. TikTok is just at the Blue Podcast. You might just add that somehow, which is a lovely stuff. And I put the YouTube short, obviously, I spoke about earlier, out on the TikTok as well. Hopefully, we're going to do a couple more YouTube shorts and TikToks for you guys. So yeah, do check that out. Obviously, check out my YouTube short I did Wednesday. Well, I mean, days are flowing into themselves. Wednesday night after the game, we're going to try and do some reactions like that, where it's like not short and sweet, just holding the phone, just reacting. Benjamin, are you going to do a reaction to the F1? I might do one as well. If you do one as well, just get a little like phone call, screen record it.
If Hamilton wins, I will.
If Verstappen does, you won't.
No. I mean, it's a weird one, really, because all last season I was like, oh, Hamilton's won again, whatever. So it would make sense for me to want Verstappen to win, but everything that he's done in this season has just not ended him. Like, it's not been endearing to me. Like,
it hasn't like made you want to vote for go like.
No, it's not made to sort of like root for him. So it's more that I don't like Verstappen than I like Hamilton. But yeah, if Lewis wins, I will. But if not, then I might.
Yeah, we could just get a stream on our phones and just do a little 45-second reaction. We might do that, you might not. But either way, check out our TikTok and YouTube Shorts, just in case. You never know. Just in case. You never know. Just check them out. Yeah. Let's get into the actual the title of the video. We have 45 minutes in and we haven't even actually got into the conspiracy theories.
Right, we'll try and do this and keep it nice, sort of hour.
We'll try and bash it. I mean, we did say we'll try and keep this one short and sweet, and I guess that's not happening anymore.
I know. I mean, an hour's okay.
An hour's right, yeah.
But it is like the first podcast back, so it was always.
We got to catch up. You know, we got to get the juices flowing, the podcast juices flowing.
It's always going to be a little bit longer.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, I guess let's speak about this. Who's got the FIA in their pocket, Ben?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're in a certain camp, you think it's mafia. I think they're in the Mercedes pocket, but then if you're in another camp, you think it's FIA bull, don't you?
Well, I mean, after the last race, it looks a little bit more like Red Bull are have them in their pocket than Mercedes. Yeah. But I bet it flip flops all the time. Obviously, I don't.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the decision in Brazil to not penalise Verstappen for that ridiculous defence as well.
I didn't know about it.
Have you not seen that move? You have to watch it. A little bit more background.
Do you want to explain it for the listeners, just in case they haven't watched it?
Well, basically, I think Hamilton eventually got the move done, which, I mean, if he hadn't have done, there would have been carnage because it was just ridiculous that they didn't penalise him. But anyway, Verstappen's in first, Hamilton second. They've gone through turn 1, 2, 3. They're on the straight down to turn 4, and Hamilton's gone past side by side. It's basically Hamilton's corner, but obviously Verstappen's got every right to brake later and try and hold the position, but he completely misses the apex, forces Hamilton out wide, goes wide himself, and then goes back onto the track and keeps the position. And it was so obvious because his steering angle was not.
Oh no, I do remember this. Yes, I do remember this. Yeah.
He was not trying to make the corner. Not at all, but not to the best of his ability. And he basically was gone straight with not straight in his steering angle, but his car on the apex was going straight. So it's just forcing him out wide. So Hamilton obviously had to take avoided action and he retained the position, which was completely unfair. They were like, oh, no, it's fine. No, not going to investigate it. That's fine defense. I was like, what? But eventually at the same corner, Hamilton was well in front and obviously won the race and blah 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 blah, and went off into the distance because obviously they had the faster package that weekend. But it's you can obviously see it with whatever they're both ways,
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I guess the one that they like to point out, the Red Bull Verstappen fans, is the time penalty Hamilton got in Silverstone when he was. I mean, I think it was a fairly sort of even, maybe just about Hamilton's fault, that one. But he got a 10-second time penalty, which is basically nothing for Hamilton and in that Mercedes car, and obviously went out to win the race. And that's the one that they like to point out as sort of FIA being a Mercedes pocket. But there's never been precedent to give more than that for an incident like that, I don't think. But I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, you can see it both ways, but it's yes, it's comical on Twitter sometimes, I think.
Yeah, no, it definitely is.
Yeah, but,
Definitely is. In the comments, I don't know if anyone would watched this part this far, but in the comments, let us know if you had to pick who's got FIA in their pocket, Mercedes or Red Bull. Just let us know in the comments. I doubt we're going to get a single comment, but prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. You never know. All right, Spygate. Obviously, you know a lot more about this than me.
Yeah.
Want to explain this conspiracy?
Yeah, I need to get it up. But I mean, from what I gathered, here we go. From what I gathered, it was basically McLaren like stole some technical information from Ferrari,
Okay.
which obviously you're not allowed to do. But they're like, it's yeah, like it seems like so obviously they were caught doing that,
Yeah.
and blah blah blah. But then it seems that Renault have done the same to McLaren, and then been caught and fined for that. And it's very odd that they would think. I mean, it was at the time when Ferrari and McLaren were sort of Ferrari were like at the top at the time, McLaren not far behind, and Renault had obviously won the title with Fernando Alonso 2005, 2006, I think. So they were doing sort of well.
Yeah.
It seems that it's obviously it's almost like say it's almost comical that McLaren were doing it to Ferrari and Renault must have been at a similar time we're doing it to McLaren. So they're all like trying to, get secrets off each other. But it's yeah, I mean, like it seems like at that time, because obviously there's another one that we'll move on to. At that time, there's a lot of sort of grey areas that teams are trying to get away with. I mean, they still try and get away with a lot now, but not to a lesser extent.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like stuff like that, like espionage and stuff. It's in keeping with F1, I think. But yeah, still you would you would think that teams like these like multi-million pound sort of companies basically would
Yeah.
be hang about maybe we shouldn't do this. Like maybe like we don't think we're going to get away with this. But it shows at the end of the day they are still human, so they're still going to just go, yeah, well,
Why not?
why not? We're gonna try it. Like it's like what? But yeah, no, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. But that
That
I
certainly is
mean,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah, you would think that they would think there's so many sort of checks and stuff that they wouldn't get away with it, but obviously they tried it anyway.
They still tried it.
They still
Still
tried it.
tried it. But yeah, I mean, they're only human. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, money's money as well. Money talks.
Yeah,
Like, I bet it happens in other sports as well.
oh, yeah. I mean, there's that Spygate with when Leeds were in the championship and they sent a spy to Derby County's training ground, didn't they? Like watching the training sessions and stuff like that. Ridiculous. It was the Marcelo Bielsa bringing out the bloody PowerPoint to show. Ridiculous. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. What else is there? What else is there? What else is there?
The Renault crash.
Renault F1 crash controversy. Obviously, you looked into this one. I didn't.
Yeah. So back in 2008, so it's sort of a similar time, maybe just after. Obviously, got Fernando Alonso racing for Renault, Nelson Piquet Jr. And what do you call? It was at the Hungarian Grand Prix, and suddenly, so Fernando Alonso had pitted early, and then so obviously the racing, blah blah blah, and then suddenly Nelson Piquet Jr. his teammate crashed, which gave him the advantage because on the safety car, he was able to overtake. I think, obviously the rest of the field. They all pitted on the safety car, so he obviously gained an advantage. And then nothing was said about it. But then a bit after, Nelson Piquet Jr. admitted that he was told to deliberately crash.
Really?
To give Alonso the advantage because he obviously went on to win the race because obviously he was able to overtake under safety car conditions because he already made his pit stop. And so that was massive hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha.
Yeah, it was a massive hoo-ha. So after all that transpired, I think they dropped Nelson Piquet Jr., but then they sacked a lot of the people in charge at the time. But then eventually they were given a disqualification from Formula One for like 2 years or something.
Really?
Because I mean, it's basically match fixing in football. Like you're fixing a race to have your desired outcome, and it's not really. I mean, I'm getting, it's just like some might say it's tactics, but like it's not really real racing. It's not really pure racing. That it's just like sort of I don't know, like mugging off the system, tricking the system sort of thing. But yeah, that's another controversy which involves Renault. So yeah,
I wouldn't say that's quite a theory though. Then is it? It's more of
no. Both of them are not really conspiracy theories. They're both just sort of controversies.
Yeah,
and because I mean, there are conspiracy theories, but they're not the kind of very specific in F1, like the George Russell one we'll move on to.
Yes, we will. Which actually didn't get proven. So that actually is a theory.
Yeah.
I think also it was just controversial as well in a sense. Do you know what I
mean? Yeah.
So George Russell was obviously driving for Mercedes whilst Hamilton was out with Bottas, and he was flying, absolutely flying in the Shakir Grand Prix. And realistically, Mercedes couldn't have that. They couldn't have George Russell beating their other driver, Bottas. Even though he's in their car.
Yeah.
I mean, so they told him to change tires, and they gave him the wrong tires.
Yeah. I mean, I can see how it can be seen as a conspiracy, but I'll probably lean on the side. Yeah, it's just a pure mistake, isn't it? But I mean, I guess
they would have made that mistake in the how many years they've had Bottas and Hamilton.
Yeah, no, I guess, you would think a team like that would not make a mistake like that. But I mean, I don't know. Anything can happen. Maybe the different driver bamboozled them. I don't know, but
bamboozled them. They're like, this isn't Hamilton.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, even then, I don't see why that would be why they would want to do that, because George Russell is basically their driver.
Yeah.
And it's always it's been always been said that he's destined for Mercedes as he is next season.
Yeah.
So I don't really get, because even then, like, it's like I don't know why they would want to protect Bottas. I mean, obviously, they want to protect him in other cases, but like it's quite clear that he's the second driver, so I don't know why they would be like, "Oh, we can't humiliate our second driver." And even then, it wouldn't be a humiliation because they're in the same car.
Well, I mean, no, it would be humiliating because obviously he he can't, like, he's supposed to be Mercedes driver. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, even then, it's kind of known that Russell is probably quicker anyway.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah,
not in a Williams, but like in terms of like actual driver ability, I'm not saying Bottas is a bad driver, but Russell's got something about him. So yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. It's a strange one. Yeah, yeah. Um, like, but yeah, I don't know because I don't know why they would be so sort of. I don't know what's the right word, like mindful of the fact that he would beat Bottas when it's obvious that he was going to replace Bottas anyway.
yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
it's. I don't really know, to be honest, mate. I don't know.
It's an odd one. It's an odd one.
It is an odd one, and
Yeah,
it's obviously, it can be seen either way. Like, obviously, just a
yeah.
mistake from Mercedes, or
Because I
it,
can't
or they,
see it.
like, maybe they just didn't want to embarrass him. Like,
Yeah,
they'd rather take the fall for making a mistake than and
yeah. But even then,
let him have some dignity.
yeah, but even then, I can't see like I wouldn't see Bottas going, hang about, guys. Like, I can't have this guy beating me because I don't think he's that sort of person.
Unless it was someone that likes Bottas.
Maybe, maybe, but I don't know. I still. It's like it seems. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. It seems a bit. I don't know. A bit too intricate.
It's very intricate, but I mean, crazier things have happened, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah, true, true.
Crazier things have happened. Um, eh, I don't know. I mean, I personally don't know because I mean, all this stuff's before me getting into F1, obviously.
Yeah, no, I do remember it, but yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got that one. Obviously, with all these conspiracy theories, guys, just let us know what you think. Just let us know.
Just let us know.
In the comments, or even just tweet us at the Blue Podcast One on Twitter.
What was the other one?
Verstappen and hating Hamilton and wanting to kill him.
That's not really conspiracy.
Those were the main conspiracy theories, to be honest, mate. Obviously, we've spoken about Verstappen not really driving hard.
Yeah,
he's just driving dangerously and chaotically, and just trying to do everything. And I mean, I guess we've kind of created our own conspiracy theory. Well, you did, speaking about the race like this weekend. We're gonna finish off with our own Blue Podcast conspiracy theory.
I mean, it's not.
Verstappen will go hard as he can because he knows that even if they crash,
yeah,
he wins.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I guess you can call it a conspiracy. It's not. It's like it's been talked about.
We're predicting a conspiracy theory.
It's
if
been
they crash,
about
then you're nailed on.
Yeah, it's been talked about by pundits all week that they could happen because it like it is to his benefit, and obviously Red Bull and like Horner and Verstappen are saying, "Oh no, I won't do that." And Horner's been doing his classic dickhead, interviews, like the one after the Saudi race, where it's like, well, as we all know, the first two sectors are driver dominated, and the last sector is engine dominated. Basically, tried to say that Verstappen's a better driver, and then he's literally said that in an interview later this week. He's like, no, they won't crash because Verstappen is the better driver. It's like, what? Like, and then he's trying to play the he's trying to play sort of the underdog card, trying to claim that
the car's not as good as the Mercedes car, and
trying to play the underdog card, trying to claim that they've been up against it all year when it was quite clear that they had the better car earlier in the season. So it's a load of bollocks. Like, but yeah, I'm not. As you can tell, I'm not a fan of Christian Horner either. This is what I mean. Like, they don't really endear themselves, really. Neither does Verstappen, but yeah, no, it's yeah, been talked about by the pundits all week because it is to his benefit.
yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to think it doesn't happen like that. But the pundits have been saying, I think the stewards have said that they are willing to deduct points if someone was to do that. They didn't obviously mention him by name or whatever. And there is precedent. I mean, if they haven't done that before, I don't think. But I think if there is a season for them to do that, it would be this season.
Yeah,
because it has been.
Well, they probably haven't had to do that, have they?
Yeah, there is precedent that Michael Schumacher was disqualified from a championship. I can't remember what for, but that has happened before. But yeah, the pundits have been saying they believe that the stewards have the courage to do that, which I'm not so confident, not so sure that they will. But I'd like to think that they do, because it would be ridiculous for something to end like that. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it has happened before where Senna questions Prost. But back then the regulations there wasn't that many regulations in it. The rules are very loose.
A bit like in football, VAR then.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, half the time, ain't got a clue if it's a goal or not. Sometimes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, what was the Rudiger one? Who was that against? When when Chalobah scored recently, Rudiger was like this. It hit his arm like this, and then fell to Chalobah, who then scored. And I walked out of the room. I was like, okay, that's not a goal.
Yeah.
I came back and I was like, we're winning.
It is mind-boggling, but
yeah,
I don't know.
It's what the world we live in. It's not perfect.
No.
I'll tell you what is perfect. The Blue Podcast. Check us out next week when we'll be back. Hopefully with another video. We got some ideas planned. Which is yeah. I'm gonna try not to burn out. Basically, that's the plan.
Yeah.
For you guys, the viewers.
Hopefully it's there's. I mean, I was going to say hopefully there's no controversy. I'm pretty sure there'll be some sort of controversy.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I'm pretty much 100% sure.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to some controversy.
Whether that's like Verstappen centering wide or like a dodgy pit stop or
Verstappen just doesn't give the pace back.
Yeah, whether it's any of those things, we'll see. But I'm 100% sure 100% there will be controversy
for sure. Well, I guess find out next week when we come back for the next Prix podcast. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Cheers. Well, thank you guys for watching the Blue Podcast with me and Ben. We are hopefully going to be back rolling with the podcast again. Obviously, check out our socials at the Blue Podcast 1 on Instagram and Twitter. Check out our TikTok, which is at the Blue Podcast, just literally at the Blue Podcast, which is lucky. And obviously, check out our YouTube shorts and all that malarkey. That will be coming to you soon. Obviously, we will be doing this is obviously December now anyway. Christmas special and New Year's special will be coming to you guys. Probably having a few drinkies, couple quizzes, maybe even they won't be live actually. But yeah, do check them out, and yeah, I guess see you guys next week. I thought you were going to say something, Ben, but yeah.
Okay.